this. So I'm gonna be doing just like kind of my everyday routine, but I'm gonna make this a little bit more long lasting because I'm about to work an 8-hour flight. So I'm gonna show you how to do it, but to make it stay a little bit longer. You don't have to add as much powder as I do, because the powder is gonna keep it in place. So I'm gonna use a little bit more powder than I normally do for just regular wear. But the basis of the face is what this is. First, going in with my NYX brow glue, brushing backwards and then up and forward. That's how you get like that laminated look. And then I take my fingers, press it down. And I hope everybody is doing their makeup with clean hands. Then I'm taking a spoolie and I'm just go right on the edge. Boom. That's it. You want your brows to set? I need a clip. You want your brows to set before you go in with your pencil. I already did my skincare. I really don't use a primer or anything, even though I probably should for doing when I work these long flights, because it'll make it last a lot longer. I'm just using Embryolisse cream. And this is what I use for a primer. I personally don't think a primer is necessary. So do with that what you will. Next, I need brushes. That would be helpful. I'm gonna do a very light dusting of some face powder. Just where I get oily. Because again, I'm about to work a very long flight. And I don't want to look crazy. Around my nose and like my T-zone. And I'm gonna do just a tiny bit on my forehead. Okay, next, I have some stuff that I want to conceal. So these places, like any dark marks that you don't want, I'm using the Quick Fix Concealer by Dermablend. So I'm just taking a little bit on a brush. And it is very pigmented. You don't need a lot. But I do that to cover that. And this will last all freaking day. So any place. I usually do like around my mouth too, like any extra around my mouth. Next, we can go ahead and go in with some foundation. So I'm using It Cosmetics CC cream. Don't know what shade this is. The shade can't come off. This is the color correcting full coverage cream. I love this stuff, as you can tell. Look, this is perfect for just like everyday wear. It's very lightweight. And that's all you need right there. Then I'm gonna take a brush. This is a Sonia Kashuk brush from Target. I love this foundation brush. It just makes blending everything out so easy. So I pat, as you can see, and then I blend down, like you want to kind of blend outwards. You don't want to go straight in blending, especially if you have concealer on, because that's just going to rub away the concealer that you have. So you pat and then start to buff it into your skin. And Jordyn, you better watch this video. You better watch the entire thing. This girl has asked me for this video at least 5 times at this point, and she just asked me for the video like a week ago. Okay, 2 weeks ago. But it's been 5 times. So you better watch this whole thing. Okay. I'm going to go in with another concealer now. This is my NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer. So it's in a pot. This is in the shade Caramel. And I'm gonna take a different brush. And I'm gonna go in where we already concealed. That's just gonna help with the color, because the color that I use for this one is a little dark. It's a little bit more orange. So this is just gonna neutralize that orange. How we looking so far? We looking good. All right, next is gonna be concealer, under eye concealer. So I'm gonna go in again with my NARS, the concealer I just used. Just the T on the concealer placement. If you have any type of lines, so Jordyn, you're young, like you really don't have no wrinkles or nothing. Me, on the other hand, we are approaching 30, so our skin is not the same. If you have any type of lines, you don't want to go with your concealer directly on your lines, okay? If you can tell, I have placed my concealer right underneath. Just want to make sure you go right underneath those lines, with concealer and without. The concealer that I normally like to use is this Tarte one, 38N, the ultra creamy one. Boom, boom. When it comes to concealer, don't be doing all of that drawing and no, not for an everyday look. Now, don't get me wrong, I can go in with some concealer. I can, but for every day, that's not what we're doing. While that's sitting, I'm gonna move on to my lip tint. So I use this, just because it lasts longer. This is the Benefit So my lips are cute and pink. Before it dries down completely, you wanna blend it out just a little bit before we go in and actually blend it. Let's go ahead and go for blush. I'm using the Danessa Myricks blush. This is the Yummy Skin line. When I tell you, you need these. You need these. You need this, the brow gel. And you need a good setting powder. But this is going to take you a long way. Danessa did her big one, okay? With these blushes. So it's a cream to powder formula, and the technology in it is like blurring. So it's amazing. Like, it's truly amazing. With your blush placement, it goes based off your face shape and how you want to accentuate your features that you already have. So with me, since I got these big old cheeks, I don't want to accentuate my big cheeks. I want to lift my face. So to do that, you are going to place your blush upward, okay? And you're not going to go directly like on the apples of your cheeks, because that's just going to widen your face. I want to slim my face. So I am putting it vertically like this, okay? If you don't have big cheeks, then that's when you would put it like on the apples of your cheeks. But if you do, and you don't want to accentuate that, you're not putting it directly on the apples of your cheeks. Got it? Got it. Boom. Should be time to blend this concealer. So I'm taking a Real Techniques brush. I love these brushes. Jordyn, I got you these brushes. These are good for concealer. Blend your concealer. At this point, it's not wet. It's dried down a little bit, so it's not going to be messy to blend out. It's going to stay where you put it. And that's the key with concealer, too. You don't want to go directly in with blending it, because it gets messy. And with concealer, you want to be very particular where you put it so that it does what you want it to do. So if you do the placement that I did, which is just right here, and blend it out, it's gonna, again, kind of lift your face and just brighten your face, and not gonna, I don't know, it's not gonna be messy. Okay? You want your concealer to stay where you put it, and the trick with that is letting it dry down a little bit. I'm putting whatever is left over on this concealer brush just on my lid so that it looks cohesive and my eyes don't look black. If I wanted to brighten, you could go, actually, you know what? I think I do want to brighten. You would go in with a brighter concealer. So I'll show you how to do that. So I'm just gonna do like literally the smallest amount. This is also Tarte Ultra Creamy. This is in the shade 35H Medium Honey. Kind of spread it a little bit. I'm not blending it. I'm just spreading. Sometimes I'll use a contour stick. Sometimes I'll use a contour powder. I think today I'm just gonna stick with a powder. I don't really want a cream contour. But if you did want a cream contour, I use the Black Opal. This is in shade Hazelnut. I don't use a cream contour every day. But this baby has been with me through thick and thin. This is my love right here. This is the medium to dark palette, Black Radiance. You see what shade? Oh, okay. For this, you want to take like a fluffy, rounded brush. I use it something like this, kind of like a blush brush. And you're gonna go right underneath your blush and into the pockets of your face. You don't need a lot. You see the motion that I'm doing is more of like a swirly motion. I'm not blending down here, right? I'm swirling and going back and forth. I'm not ready to blend my concealer just yet. So I'm gonna go in and do my brows. I'm using the Benefit Precisely by Brow Pencil in the shade of 4.5. I usually use 3.5, but I don't have that with me. I ran out. 3.5 is a neutral brown. This is a little bit darker, okay? Very first thing is a line, okay? A line following the shape of your natural brow. Okay, we don't need to do too much. We don't need to create a whole nother brow. You just want to follow the line that you naturally have. Then you can go in and blend that line up. And then you can see where you need to add more products. So now I'm following the shape at the top. And at this point, we're not doing long lines like we did at the bottom. Now we're doing short little strokes to mimic the hair. Now I'm working in the front of the brow just to kind of blend it into each other. Blend that. And now it should be time to blend our concealer out. The lighter concealer, you're just gonna go in and do the same exact thing that we did with the first one. Just wanna blend it out after it sits for a little bit. Then I like to go in with my foundation brush, go around the edges of that, just everything really, but the edges around your concealer. And it kind of helps blend your blush into your concealer too. And like your contour or whatever. It helps, just keep it seamless. You don't want any harsh lines on your face. So doing this just kind of meshes everything together. I'm gonna carve out my brows a little bit just because I like that look. But this part is totally not necessary. I don't do this every day. All I do is I take a flat concealer brush. You want something really, really thin. Take that NARS concealer that I used earlier. And just go right, follow your brow. And I just blend that line out a little bit. Just a little bit with this because I'm going to go in with another brush to blend it. Okay, so just go in and blend that concealer out. All right, now on to my favorite part, and that is setting. So we're gonna go in with a setting powder. I already showed you what powder this was at home. This is the RCMA setting powder. I don't have the bottle, but I will try to put a picture in. So 2 brushes. You see I got 2 of the same brush. I'm taking the first one, the concealer brush first. I am blending out under my eye because, again, I got almost 30-year-old skin. Look at my boy. Almost 30-year-old skin. Blend that out first with your concealer brush. Take your setting brush and go immediately in with your powder. Immediately. Don't wait. So again, we're doing an 8-hour flight today. So you don't, at that point, that's when you would be finished, right? After you put your, okay? Now I'm going in my T-zone with extra reinforcements because I get oily. And when you are working a big ass plane that I'm about to work, it gets hot. You get sweaty, you get oily, okay? I'm bringing my powder down a little bit more into my T-zone because that's where I get oily. Blend first. And as you can see, I'm not doing the baking thing that we did in 2016. Like, this is not 2016, okay? You only need a little bit of powder at a time. And it melts right into your skin. If you're doing it right, it's not going to sit on top of your skin. It's going to melt. Now, again, I'm going in a little bit heavy-handed with the powder today. But that's because I want my stuff to last. To dust this stuff off, we are going in with a pressed powder. This is the Fenty Beauty pressed powder in shade 350. And I'm not going directly under my eyes because I'm using a different powder for that, but everywhere where you put setting powder, you're pretty much going on top of that, except directly under your eyes. Pressed powder should always be your last thing. I learned that from a makeup artist, and that changed the game for me. Keep your pressed powder as your very last step. Child, it's a lot of talking. I'll be done by now. It's 8:13. I gotta go. Now I'm using Iman shade 4.5. This is a little bit lighter. This is what we're gonna use directly under the eye. Pressed powder done. Now I'm gonna go in with a little bit lighter shade. This is a lot of powder, I know. But we're going to spray it and it's going to set down. I'm using Smashbox. I don't even know what this is. It's just a contour palette. But it's a very light, like, kind of eyeshadow palette. I put it right in the corner of my eyes just to help brighten. That's just if you want to be extra. That's not a necessary step. I go in with a little bit of a bronzing powder. Next is setting. Going in with a professional setting powder. Yes. At this point, I would use a fan, but my fan is in my bag, and my bag is being used as a tripod right now. Let that dry. Let it dry. Spray before you put your mascara on. Do a little bit of Long Lasting Setting Spray too by Milani. Let's go in with some lip products. Morphe Sweet Tea Lip Liner. And I'm using NYX's Butter Gloss in shade Creme Brulee. Mascara is last. I'm using Milani's mascara. This is a tubing mascara. I highly recommend everybody. Well, I don't know about highly because it is a very wet mascara. My favorite one is the Tarte mascara. Which one is this? The Tartelette mascara is my favorite. But Milani's a good drugstore alternative. So Jordyn, this is what we got. This is the face. This is what I do pretty much every time I work and every time you see me. This is the face I got on. The face. We're sitting. Yeah, this is it. Okay, love you.